Hey everybody, Dr. Wenzel Brentwood, MD. I wanted to make a quick video for you all about stress management. This is one of the most common subject matters that I discuss with my private clients almost on a daily basis, regardless of their level of success or accomplishment or influence in the world. Managing your stress seems to be a topic that people are often interested in talking about. And I wanted to just share with you kind of the way I think about stress, what it is, how to manage it, and some strategy to deploy in your own life to achieve better things. Number one, the most important take-home point if you stop watching this video in the next 6 seconds is that the goal of stress management is not stress elimination. Nobody has a stress-free life. The people who you admire who appear to have a stress-free life are just doing a better job managing the stress. Better management of stress is far more important than stress elimination because each level of success creates new stressors, new problems, new challenges, and new things to overcome. You constantly have to be working on your ability to manage stress better. I like to define stress as an emotional existence that is fueled by unhealthy fears. And the reason I say unhealthy fears is that fear, a healthy amount of fear is healthy. But when those scales begin to tip and you begin to be driven by that fear, rather than just an awareness of a potential downside or a potential vulnerability, that kind of fear is good. Understanding vulnerabilities and understanding and hedging against downsides. But when our primary driver is fear, to either take action or not take action, if that's fear-based, it's an unhealthy amount of fear. And typically, fear fuels busyness and overwhelm, which is kind of the opposite of the goal, right? We don't want to be busy, we want to be productive, and we don't want to be overwhelmed, we want to be laser focused. So what's the solution? The stress solution is quite simply clarity. Clarity on the priority. You know, up until around 1900, the word priority was singular. We didn't add a plural version of this until around 1900 to imply that there are more than one priority. Now, that's debatable whether there can be more than one priority, but the point is that everything cannot be important. If everything is important, by definition, that means nothing's important. I believe Stephen Covey, 7 Habits, said, keep the main thing the main thing. Tony Robbins has talked about clarity is power. These are very critical things to be anchored in, but clarity on the priority, because when you're focused on the priority and you're giving most, if not all, of your emotional and economic attention and your resources to the priority, you move the needle, as opposed to diverting all of your energy evenly across many things that are not priorities and moving the needle a little bit, incremental improvements and things that are non-essential. You can really begin to feel overwhelmed, like nothing is moving, and it's almost always due to a lack of clarity on your priority. This is a 4-step framework that I use almost daily with my private clients and for myself when I begin to feel overwhelm starting to set in. I call it my pending column. When my pending column begins building and I'm not finishing, I'm doing a lot of starting and not a lot of finishing, I can start to feel a little overwhelmed. That is the first sign that I am lacking in focus or clarity on the priority. So I ask my clients to audit their life for friction. Where in your life are you feeling the emotion of friction? And what that will signify is that there's something there that either needs to be done better or gotten rid of, but there's a problem that it's like a map with an X. Dig here. Friction signifies we need to go deeper. The first question I ask my folks is that, is this friction you're feeling, is it a real problem or is it an imaginary problem? I know that might sound silly, but many of us, all of us, let's be honest, we've all gone through our life where we carry problems from the past or a previous experience into our current reality And although it's long gone, it's still affecting us. So the first question we have to ask is it real or is it not real? The next thing is, if it's not real, or I'm sorry, if it is real, is it mission critical or is it a luxury? Is it really part of the main thing, or is this something extra? That's an important question to answer, because as we move into part 2 of this framework, it is time to either innovate, eliminate, or delegate. And what that might look like, especially now, right? I mean, here we are. Most of us have been working from home for 2-3 months. We're forced in the laboratory to do things differently. We're forced to look at the way we conduct our interactions professionally and personally from home. This has forced us to think about these things. Do you need to hire an assistant? Do you need to leverage technology, leverage automation? Are there things that you do that are repeatable, predictable, that a machine can do? Leave the humans for the human things. Are there meetings that are redundant, that are unnecessary? If those meetings are necessary, do they need to be face-to-face and absorbing the cost of travel and the time of travel? Or can you just jump on a Zoom call? These are things that many people are experiencing right now because they were forced into the laboratory of sheltering at home. When you think about eliminating things that are not priorities, that are getting in the way, like what good things are standing in the way of the priority? It may be time to put those aside for another quarter or another year. Look, delegation is so critical as you scale and grow in your business and in your life. Most of us, it's driven by pride and ego that nobody can do it as good as us. Only I can do it. I want to be the one to do it. But look, listen, if you can find somebody who can get 80% of the result you can, 90% of the time, that's good enough. And unless it's something only you can do, your goal should be getting someone to about 80% of your capacity and delegating that. You will find incredible freedom in mastering the ability to delegate. So whether you're delegating or innovating or eliminating, it's then time to test the new strategy. Is it going to improve our life? And the metric we need to be looking at is the amount of overwhelm. Is that decreasing? And is the amount of productivity increasing with busyness going down? Increased productivity, decreased overwhelm. That's the metric. Then it's time to re-audit for friction. Is there still friction? No? Good. Then your innovation or your delegation or your elimination has worked. You move on down the road. If there's still friction there, or there are still areas that there are friction, you repeat. It's time to innovate, eliminate, and delegate. And this is a constant process that will evolve and move with you through your life. And I promise in the beginning it might be a little clunky, but this is how we have to think about these things, because problems will not go away. My hope for you is that your problems always get better and you have higher quality problems. But with each new higher quality problem, you will be forced to think about stress management, because there are stressors at the top just like there's stressors at the bottom. They're just different. I hope this video really helped. I'll see you next time. Take care.